Hello, I'm Marcin from INSGrass and this is a second part of INSGrass demonstration video series. Today I will show one of the most powerful tools of INSGrass, which is the pattern, and I will show how to use terrain material provided with the add-on. I will start with distribution pattern, which is controlled by this color ramp. I will choose its first step, and if I will decrease its brightness and slide it towards the middle, some areas will become less dense than others. On the other hand, sliding second stop towards the middle increase density in some areas. I can also add another stop between those two to control the border between high density and no density areas. I can also flip color ramp to get inverse density pattern. You can also reset it to default setting. To better visualize what is going on, I will use terrain material provided with the add-on. I have it already on my emitter, and to activate it I will choose a proper name from this INS color group list. G403 tool is the one I'm working on, so I will choose color group with the name that fits. G403 is a various type, so I have to set this slider to 0 to correlate color pattern with other patterns. Now I use Node Wrangler add-on to view pattern output, and I tweak color transform to raw to get more accurate colors. So the pattern is black and white texture. The rule is that the brighter the color, the more dense area it represents. So if I will set this color ramp as before, black areas will have non-density and white areas will be fully populated with instances. Now I will show how to use controllers to manipulate pattern transforms. I have few inactive grass modifiers, but their controllers are still visible. And I want to see controllers for active modifier only. So I press hide all and then select. Controls represents pattern borders, and with their help I can easily move the pattern, change overall scale, or scale along certain axis, and rotate it. With the help of Blender's 3D cursor, I can set transform's origin very precisely. By default, pattern is driven by non-color seamless 4K resolution texture provided with the add-on. But you may use any texture you have in your scene or on your computer. I can make my pattern even more custom by enabling Use Second Pattern option. By default, in non-mode grass types, second pattern is driven by the same texture as pattern 1. And its controller was transformed together with pattern 1. So to see any difference between those two patterns, I will change second pattern controller transform. With this mix slider, I can define which pattern will influence overall result more. 0 means full pattern 1 influence, 1 means full pattern 2 influence. But some areas seems to be almost unaffected by these changes. This is caused by scale pattern, which is now independent from distribution pattern. Unless I will disable scale pattern option, I can define mix factor and use scale pattern color ramp, which works due to same rules as distribution pattern color ramp, but in this case black color means scale of 0, and the brighter it became, the scale increases. To make scale pattern dependent on distribution pattern, I have to uncheck ignore pattern adjustments option. And now changes made in density mixing factor are clearly visible. I will change mixing method to overlay, and I will enable another color ramp to adjust the effect of mixing. Now I will make some preparations to show what can be done with color pattern. I can define how much color pattern will be influenced by other patterns with incorporate pattern adjustment slider. I will leave mix distribution scale pattern slider to 0, so only distribution pattern will influence the color. And I want to see the effect of using second pattern. And now more dense areas will be more green. Changing the mixing method to multiply will increase density differences. I will make color dependent on scale pattern, and now the bigger the instances, the more green they became. I will set those 3 sliders so the other patterns have moderated influence on the color. To show how to use pattern in practice, I will add one of combined presets, which will add multiple grass types at once. I picked C003 Meadow 3. I will also change grass type viewed by terrain material to P301, which is small grass. I will turn off other grass modifiers and increase visible density of this type. Terrain material blends well with this grass, so to better see what is going on, I will change shading method to viewport. So I have these empty areas left for medium grass. I will increase its density to make it a bit more visible. And I will use color ramp to increase medium grass area size. And I will reduce small grass areas to reduce overdraw. Note how different grass types color ramps overlaps to create one correlated ecosystem. For example, P304 will not grow in areas with highest and lowest density. P305, which is flowers, grows only in clusters in some areas. Now I will show how to transform multiple controllers for multiple grass modifiers. I can choose them one set after another, but it is easier to select them with the help of outliner. And now I transform all grass types simultaneously. If I will back to render preview, terrain material has these empty areas. In shader editor, it is visible that second material is a simple principled BSDF with bronze color on it. But I want to have here a material driven by P302, which actually grows in these bronze areas. To do this, I will copy this node chain and choose a proper name from a list. I will also unplug pattern socket, and now I can plug this new shader as second material. Okay, let's see how it looks like in cycles. Because terrain material is a flat surface and grass is actual geometry, there can be some discrepancies in color look, despite the color is the same. I can reduce these differences with the help of INS grass terrain material options. I will just increase gamma a bit to get less washed out color. And now if I will turn off small grass P301, it doesn't make big difference from this perspective. If I will increase density of mine grass types, it doesn't look so good if I will turn off P301. It looks even worse from closer perspective. To conclude, you may have less density on farther plants, especially on small plant types, which can be replaced by terrain material. And this will be all when it comes to pattern and terrain material usage. Stay tuned for last video in which I will show how to use INS grass while creating a scene. Thank you for watching and goodbye.